Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. I'll not be taking the class, but I'm showing you the glimpse of Govindraj temple. I'll not be carrying the mobile also, so please excuse me today. But you should all have darshan of Tirupati, here Govindraj temple. Today evening 3 o'clock we have the darshan. Hari Bol. Thank you everyone for nice program.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Wishing you auspicious birthday, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Dandvat Pranam Mataji. Happy Krishna conscious birthday.
We have here Mandana Prabhu also with us. Ambekar Prabhu is also there.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Krishna is also there, Bal Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Please pray for all devotees and Thane Center.
Yes,
Jagannath
yes.
Bhagwan.
There's a mission also for Irakna. There's a mission also for accomplishing our temple nicely. So certain architectural point also we have come here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All of you. Kind wishes. Ma, mobile? लेके सकते हैं. Hare Krishna. I am taking the mobile. You will continue the class. So the temple comes, you can see.
Hare Krishna.
Continue the class. Satyabhama, you take the class.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Ram. Hare Ram. Ram Ram. Hare Hare. So yesterday we were at, we closed at verse 212, and Hare Nam, we saw the importance of the Hari Nam, and there is no other way, Gatir Anyata, as given in the Brahma Naradya Purana. So we'll start with verse 213 today, Adilila Chapter 17, 213. ग्रामेर ठाकुर तुमी शब तुमर जाना निमाय बोलिया तारे कराहा वर्जना. Sir, you are the ruler of this town. Whether Hindu or Muslim, everyone is under your protection. Therefore, please call Nimai Pandita and make him leave the town. This is what his assistants are telling the Qazi. Here the word Thakura has two meanings. One meaning is God, as we know that Thakurji, when we say Thakurji, it is referred to God or a godly person. And another meaning is Kshatriya. Here the Pashandi Brahmanas address the Qazi as Thakura, considering him the ruler of the town. There are different names by which to address the members of different castes. The Brahmanas are addressed as Maharaja, the Kshatriyas as Thakura, the Vaishyas as Setha or Mahajana, and Sudras as Chaudhuri. This etiquette is still followed in northern India, where the Kshatriyas are addressed as Thakur Saham. The Pashandis went far as to request the magistrate or Qazi to have Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu expelled from the town because of his introducing Harinam Sankirtana. Fortunately, our Krishna movement all over the world, especially in the civilized world of Europe and America, has become very popular. Generally, no one complains against us to have us removed from a city. Although such an attempt was indeed made in Melbourne, Australia, the attempt failed. Thus, we are now introducing this Hare Krishna movement in great cities of the world like New York, London, Paris, Tokyo, Sydney, Melbourne, and Auckland. And by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, Mahaprabhu, everything is going on nicely. People are happy to accept the principle of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, and the result is most satisfactory. In his initial years, when Srila Prabhupada was conducting Rath Yatra, one day he got a message saying from Australia that we are conducting a big Rath Yatra, and Prabhupada was feeling intense separation. He wanted to be there, and somehow or the other, he managed to fly to Australia. In that particular Rath Yatra, that video is available. A huge effigy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was carried part of Rath Yatra. That is one of the biggest Mahaprabhu I have ever seen, and that too in the Rath Yatra. So that is amazing. People can we can check the videos and see that particular thing. So despite those caste people trying to throw away, the Harinam has now spread all over the world, and we are indebted to Srila Prabhupada. And without him, we wouldn't have even been touched by Krishna consciousness, as we all would have grown up worshipping so many demigods and not realizing who is the Supreme Lord. So text 214. तबे आमी प्रीति वाक्या कहिला शबारे सभे घरे आया यहाँ आमी निषेधी बतारे. After hearing their complaints in sweet words, I told them, please go back home. I shall certainly prohibit Nimai Pandit from continuing his Hare Krishna movement. So this was Kazi's reply to his followers. हिंदूरा ईश्वर बड़ा ये नारायणा से तुम्ही हाव हे नालाया मोरा mana. I know that Narayana is the supreme god of the Hindus, and I think that you are the same Narayana. This I feel within my mind. So now Kazi is telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I feel you are the supreme Lord Narayana himself. Eta suni Mahaprabhu hasiya hasiya kahi te lagila kichu kaji re chuniya. After hearing the Kazi speak so nicely, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu touched him and smilingly spoke as follows. Tomara mukhe Krishna nama ei bada vichitra papa shaya gela haila parama pavitra. The chanting of the holy name of Krishna from your mouth has performed a wonder. It has nullified the reactions of all your sinful activities. You now have become supremely pure. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now says that since you have uttered Hari Hari and you chanted Hare Krishna, you have now been nullified by the reactions of all your sinful activities. So confirming the potency of the Sankirtana movement here, these words from the very mouth of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu express how people can be purified simply by chanting the holy name of Lord Krishna. The Qazi was a Muslim mlecha or meat eater, but because he several times uttered the holy name of Lord Krishna, automatically the reactions of his sinful life were vanquished and he was fully purified of all material contamination. We do not know why the Pasandis of the present day protest that we are deteriorating the Hindu religion by spreading Krishna consciousness all over the world and claiming all classes of men to the highest standard of Vaishnavism. But these rascals disagree with us so vehemently that some of them do not allow European and American Vaishnavas to enter the temples of Vishnu, thinking religion to be meant for material benefit. These so-called Hindus have actually become vicious by worshipping the numerous forms of the demigods. In the next verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms the Qazi's purification. So we've seen that these white body Vaishnavas, so what Mahaprabhu brought to us that, and even Srila Prabhupada carried it forward, is that a Brahmana is not by birth. A Vaishnava is not that if he is born in a high family, in any of the four Vaishnava Sampradayas, but a Brahmana or a Vaishnava is the one who has taken up those qualities, who worships Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, and then is humble and has taken up all the qualities. So by quality, by achar, by practice, and by following the rules is of the Vedic scriptures, of the prescribed duties, and worshipping Lord Vishnu is what one becomes a Vaishnava. So unlike what was being practiced in India, it started with many centers where the Brahmin community was prominent, where the worship was going on as per the Vedic, and then it became more like Karma Gandhi rituals also. So they started distinguishing between people, that Shudra should not enter the temple, low caste people cannot do certain things. But over a period of time now, this has changed. And similarly, even in Jagannath Puri, the white-bodied or foreign-bodied devotees or people who want to visit Lord Jagannath are not still now not allowed inside the temple. So only at the time of Rath Yatra, when Lord Jagannath comes out, when devotees in foreign body, or even others who are not of Indian origin can see the deities, have darshan of the deities. Hari Krishna Narayana laile tina nama, bada bhagyavan tumi, bada punyavan. Because you have chanted three holy names of the Lord, Hari, Krishna, and Narayana, you are undoubtedly the most fortunate and pious. Here, the Lord, Supreme Lord, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms that anyone who chants the holy name of Hari, Krishna, and Narayana without offense is certainly extremely fortunate, and whether Indian or non-Indian, Hindu or non-Hindu, he immediately comes to the level of the most pious personality. We therefore do not care about the statements of the Pashandis who protest against our movements, making the members of other cities or countries into Vaishnavas. We have to follow in the footsteps of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, executing our mission peacefully, or if necessary, kicking the heads of such protesters. So Lord Chaitanya gave the benefit of holy name, the chanting of the holy name, the love of Godhead to any person. So patra dekhe bina. So not seeing the whether the person had that character or not character, everybody has the right to take the name of Lord. So whoever took the name of Hari, Narayana, Krishna can easily become into a devotee or a Vaishnava. इता सुनी काजीर दुई चक्षे पादे पानी प्रभुर चरण चुनी मले प्रिय वाणी. After the Kazi heard this, tears flowed down from his eyes. Chakshu pade pani. He immediately touched the lotus feet of the Lord and spoke the following sweet words. तोमारा प्रसादे मोरा गुचिल कुमाती एक कृपा करा ये न तोमा तेरा हु bhakti. So Kazi says, now only by your mercy, O Lord, have my bad intentions vanished. Kindly favor me so that my devotion may always be fixed upon you. So now Kazi has become a realized soul, and he is completely realized, and he says, because of your mercy, Lord, that my bad intentions have now been removed. प्रभु कहे एक दाना मागी ये तो माया संकीर्तन वदा ऐचे नाहे ना दियाया. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I wish to beg you for one more favor in charity. You must pledge that this Sankirtan movement will not be checked, at least in the district of Nadia. So he's requesting Kazi that you will not stop the Sankirtan movement, at least in the Nadia district. Kazi kahe mora vamshe gyata upajibe taha kek tala kadiba kirtana na badibe. Kazi says, to as many descendants as take birth in my dynasty in the future, I give this grave admonition. No one would check the Sankirtana movement. As a result of this grave injection by the Qazi, even at present, the descendants of the Qazi's family do not oppose the Sankirtana movement under any circumstances. Even during the great Hindu-Muslim riots in neighboring places, the descendants of the Qazi honestly preserve the assurance given by their forefather. That's why we see that in Mayapur, Nadia district, we have a very amicable situation between the Vaishnavas and the all the other communities living in the district. Suni Prabhu Hari Bali Utila Apani Utila Vaishnava Sabha Kari Hari Dhvani. Hearing this, the Lord got up chanting Hari 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 Hari. Following him, all other Vaishnavas also got up chanting the vibration of the holy name of Lord Hari Hari. Kirtana kari te Prabhu kari laga mana sange chali aisa kaji ullasita mana. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went back to perform Kirtana, and the Qazi, in his mind jubilant, went with him doing Kirtana. Qazi re vidaya dila sachira nandana nachite nachite aila apana bhavana. The Lord asked the Qazi to go back home. Then the son of Mother Sachi came back to his own home, dancing and dancing. So Mahaprabhu was so merciful that he has forgiven Qazi, and now Qazi has also become a follower of Mahaprabhu. Ei mate Qazi re Prabhu karila parasada, iha ei suni tare khande aparada. This is the incident concerning the Qazi and the Lord's mercy upon him. Anyone who hears this is also freed from all offenses. एकादीन श्रीवासेरा मंदिरे गोसानी नित्यानंद संगे नृत्य करे दुई भाई. One day the two brothers, Lord Nityanand Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, were dancing in the holy house of Srivas Thakur's Angan. Srivasa putrera tahan haila para loka tabu Srivasera chitte na janmila shoka. So what happened that day is a very sad thing. At that time, a calamity had taken place, and what happened was Srivas Thakur's son had passed away. Yet Srivas Thakur was not at all feeling that shoka or the sadness. Such an elevated devotee was Srivas Thakura. Mrita putra mukhe kaila jane rakha thana apane dhui bhai haila Srivasa nandana. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu caused the dead son to speak about knowledge, and then the two brothers personally became the sons of Srivas Thakura. And Srivas Thakura was actually performing kirtan, but Mahaprabhu felt something very uneasy that day during the kirtan, and he slowly asked his associates, "Is there something wrong? I am feeling something, some different kind of feeling today." Then somebody came and told that Srivas Thakura's son has just left his body, and Srivas Thakur was unaffected doing the kirtan. Mahaprabhu immediately rushed to the place to see the son of Srivas Thakur and brought him back to life. This incident is described as follows by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya. So the same incident we are now going to read from the purport. One night, while Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing with his devotees at the house of Srivas Thakura, one of Srivas Thakura's sons was suffering from some disease and he passed away. Srivas Thakura was so patient, however, that he did not allow anyone to express sorrow by crying, for he did not want the kirtana going on at his house to be disturbed. Thus, kirtana continued without a sound of lamentation. But when the kirtana was over, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who could understand the incident, declared, "There must have been some calamity in this house." When he was then informed about the death of Srivas Thakura's son, he expressed his regret, saying, "Why was this news not given to me before?" He went to the place where the son was lying dead and asked him, "My dear boy, why are you leaving the house of Srivas Thakura?" The dead son immediately replied, "I was living in this house as long as I was destined to live here. Now that the time is over, I am going elsewhere, according to your direction. I am your eternal servant, a dependent living being. I must act only according to your desire. Beyond your desire, I cannot do anything. I have no such power." Hearing these words of the dead son, all the members of Srivas Thakura's family received transcendental knowledge through their own son. Thus, there was no cause for lamentation. This transcendental knowledge is described in Bhagavad Gita 2.13. Tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra na muhyati. When someone dies, he accepts another body. Therefore, sober persons do not lament. After the discourse between the dead boy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, funeral ceremonies were performed, and Lord Chaitanya assured Srivas Thakura, "You have lost one son, but Nityanand Prabhu and I are your eternal sons. We shall never be able to give up your company." This is an instant of a transcendental relationship with Krishna. We have eternal transcendental relationship with Krishna as his servants, friends, fathers, sons, or conjugal lovers. So, in the 5 types of rasas, we have Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakyaras, Vatsalyaras, where you can treat the Lord as your son, and or Madhuryaras, the highest level. So the Lord personally tells Srivas Thakura that I am your son. So we are your eternal sons. When the same relationships are pervertly reflected in this material world, we have relationships as the sons, fathers, friends, lovers, masters, or servants of others. But all these relationships are subject to termination within a defined period. So the relationships in this world are all temporary and brought because of our different karmas, and we all come and meet with each other. Whereas the relationship with Lord is eternal. If we revive our eternal relationship with Krishna, however, by the grace of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, our eternal relationship will never break to cause us our lamentation. So the relationship with Lord will last forever, and that relationship never breaks down. तबेता करीला सभा भक्ते वरदाना उच्चिष्ट दिया नारायणीरा करीला सम्माना. Thereafter, the Lord charitably bestowed his benediction upon all his devotees. He gave the remnants of his food to Narayani, showing her special respect. Narayani was the niece of Srivas Thakura, and later she became the mother of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakura. In this connection, and whose Sri Vrindavan Das Thakura, he wrote the Chaitanya Mangal or Chaitanya Bhagavat. In this connection, the Sahajiyas cite a malicious story that after eating the remnants of Lord Chaitanya's food, Narayani became pregnant and gave birth to Vrindavan Das Thakura. These are the rascal Sahajiyas as quoted by Srila Prabhupada. These rascal Sahajiyas may manufacture such false statements, but no one should believe them because they were motivated by enmity against the Vaishnavas. So Narayani, who was the niece of Srivas Thakura, was blessed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and later on in her she is the mother of Sri Vrindavan Das Thakura, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakura, the great Acharya. Srivasera Vasra Shinye Daraji Yavana Prabhu Tare Nija Rupa Karaila Darshana. There was a tailor who was a meat eater but was weaving the garments for Srivas Thakura. The Lord, being merciful to him, showed him his own form to the tailor also. So the Lord showed the darshan to the tailor. देखिनु बलिल हाइला पागला प्रेमे नृत्य करे हाइला वैष्णव आगला. Saying, I have seen, and dancing in ecstatic love as though mad, he became a first-class Vaishnava. So the tailor, after having taken the darshan of Lord, his eternal form, and he became a first-class Vaishnava. So here it is spoken about the tailor here. There was a Muslim tailor near the house of Srivas Thakura who used to sew the garments of the family. One day he was very pleased with the dancing of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and indeed he was enchanted. The Lord, understanding his attitude, showed him his original form as Krishna. The tailor then began to dance, saying, I have seen, I have seen. He became absorbed in ecstatic love and began to dance with Lord Chaitanya. Thus he became one of the foremost Vaishnava adherents of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. आवेशे ते श्रीवास प्रभु वंशी तामागिला श्रीवास कहे वंशी तोमारा गोपी हारी नीला. In ecstasy, the Lord asked Srivas Thakur to deliver his flute, but Srivas Thakur replied, "Your flute has been stolen away by the gopis." Suni Prabhu Bala Balena Aveshe Srivasa Varnena Vrindavana Lila Rase. Hearing this reply, the Lord said in ecstasy, Srivas Thakur, go on talking, go on talking. Thus, Srivas Thakur described the transcendental mellows of the pastimes of Sri Vrindavana to the Lord. Prathamete Vrindavana Madhurya Varnila Suniya Prabhura Chitte Ananda Vadila. In the beginning, Srivas Thakur described the transcendental sweetness of Vrindavan's pastimes. Hearing this, the Lord felt great and increasing jubilation in his heart. Tabe Bala Bala Prabhu Bale Vara Vara Puna Puna Kahe Srivasa Kariya Vistara. So the Lord wants to hear more and more about Vrindavan pastimes, and he kept on saying to Srivas, go on speaking, and please explain them vividly. Please keep explaining them. Vamshivadaye gopi ganera vane akarshana tansa bhara sange yaiche vana viharana. So Srivas Thakur started explaining all the pastimes of Vrindavana and how the gopis were attracted by the forests of Vrindavana, by the vibration of Krishna's flute, and how they wandered together in the forest. Tahi madhye Chaya Rutu Lila Ravarnana Madhupana Rasotsava Jalakeli Khatana. So all the pastimes which were happening in Vrindavana and in Yamuna, Srivas Thakur Pandita narrated. And during the 6 changing seasons, as per the Ritu, there used to be Leelas and different seasons, different kind of Leelas. And like we have the Jalavihar Leela during the hot season of June and July. So he described the drinking of the honey, the celebration of the Rasa dance, the swimming in the Yamuna, and other incidents happening as per different seasons. Bala Bala Bale Prabhu Sunite Ullasa Srivasa Kahena Tabe Rasa Rasera Vilasa. When the Lord, hearing with great pleasure, said, go on speaking Srivas, go on speaking Srivas Thakur, Srivas Thakur described the Raslila dance, which is filled with transcendental mellows. Kahite Sunite Aiche Pratakala Haila Prabhu Srivasera Toshi Alingana Kaila. As the Lord requested Srivas to keep on speaking, the morning appeared, and the Lord embraced Srivas Thakura and satisfied him. Tabe Acharyera Ghare Kaila Krishna Leela Rukmini Swarupa Prabhu Apane Haila. Thereafter, they performed a drama of Krishna's pastimes, and this was performed in Chandrasekhara Acharya's home. And the Lord took part of Rukmini and the foremost of Krishna's queens. Kabu Durga Lakshmi Haya Kabu Vachit Chakti Kathe Vashi Bhakta Gane Dila Prema Bhakti. The Lord sometimes took part of Goddess Durga, Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, the chief potency Yogamaya. Sitting on a cot, he delivered love of Godhead to all the devotees who were present there. So these were the pastimes which used to happen at Srivas Thakur's house. Ekadina Mahaprabhu Nritya Aveshane Eka Brahmani Asi Dharila Charane. One day when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had finished his dancing, a woman, the wife of a Brahmana, came there and caught hold of Lord's feet, lotus feet. Charanera dhuli se laya vara vara dekhiya prabhura dukha haila apara. As she took the dust off his lotus feet again and again, the Lord became unlimitedly unhappy. We have seen earlier in the Leela also, in Madhya Leela also, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was doing the Gundicha margin, there was one person, one devotee who used to uh, put water on Lord's feet and try and take the Charnamrita. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like it. He in fact chastised that person also and asked him to take him away from him. So here also, when frequently the person was taking the dust of the lotus feet again and again, the Lord became a bit unhappy. This holding of a great personality's lotus feet is certainly very good for the person who takes the dust. But this example of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's unhappiness indicates that a Vaishnava should not allow anyone to take dust from his feet. One who takes the dust of a great personality's lotus feet transfers his sinful activities to that great personalities. Unless the person whose dust is taken is very strong, he must suffer the sinful activities of the person who takes the dust. Therefore, ordinarily, it should not be allowed. Sometimes in big meetings, people come to take the same advantage by touching our feet. On account of this, sometimes we have to suffer from some disease. As far as possible, no outsider should be allowed to touch one's feet to take dust from them. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally showed this by his example, as explained in this next verse as well. So with this verse we'll finish today. Seishane dhana prabhogam gangate padila nityananda hari dhasa dhari uthaila. Immediately he ran to the river Ganges and jumped in to counteract the sinful activities of that woman. Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakura caught him and raised him from the river. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is God himself, but he was playing the part of a preacher here. Every preacher should know that being allowed to touch a Vaishnava's feet and take dust may be good for the person who takes it, but it is not good for the person who allows it to be taken. As far as possible, this practice should ordinarily be avoided. Only initiated disciples should be allowed to take this advantage, not others. Those who are full of sinful activities should generally be avoided. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. We'll end here. Thank you for tolerating me today.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, thanks for the wonderful class. I have a small question. Can I ask, Mataji?
Yeah, Prabhuji, please ask.
Mataji, this last para what you read, that woman was touching Prabhupada's feet again and again, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like it. The reason being that sins of that woman could have passed to Mahaprabhu, and that is not appreciated. Mataji, my question is, like in our all Hindus customs, when we touch feet of our elders. Now, this what Mahaprabhu had stopped, that one should not touch the feet. Is it restricted to preachers and sannyasis, or is it a general thing that we should also stop touching feet of our elders?
There are two things here. What you're talking, your question is about the general thing where we say paribona, or where we say, we respect people by our elders by, paying obeisances. So that we can continue because we are paying obeisances. Yeah. So that is different from when we touch a feet of Guru Maharaj. Say when Guru Maharaj is coming, they say no. Especially they tell everybody not to touch his feet, right? Physically not to touch his feet. Pay obeisances from far. Pay obeisances when Maharaj is coming out or walking on the path and you happen to be there. So that is perfectly fine, paying obeisances from far. But touching his feet, coming close, means taking the charan thuli, that is not to be done. As they say, right, to Diksha Guru, if the devotees who are initiated, and at the time of initiation, the Guru takes all the sins of the devotee. So something similar here. And here it is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was not representing himself as God, although he was God, but in this Leela or in this Navadip pastime, he is not, or in the whole of his appearance, he is not telling he's not giving the darshan that he's the Supreme Lord to everyone, right? Only his close parshas knew that he is Supreme Lord. He is playing the part of a devotee here as a preacher. So as a preacher, he didn't want that sinful people or non-initiated people to come and fall at his feet or take the charan dhuli, because she was taking the charan dhuli and they will put on their head. And that, so what we say for at the time of initiation, that Diksha Guru takes all the sins. So the same principle applies here also. When the lady was repeatedly paying obeisances and taking the dust, Mahaprabhu didn't want that to happen. So the clarification is given this the second verse which we read just now in 245, that only the preachers, the example for preachers is given, and he was playing the part of preacher is what Srila Prabhupada has written. So that's what we should take the understanding from you.
Right, Mataji. Thank you.
Yeah, when we pay obeisances to our grandmother, grandfather, mother-in-law, mother, father, that's all is allowed, because we are paying namaskar to them, obeisances to them, and they are giving us ashirvad.
Right, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, Krishnaveni Mataji has a raised hand. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji.
Ha, Mataji.
Mataji, what is Pohandi festival, Mataji?
Pohandi is when the Lord Jagannath comes out and he's so eager to meet his devotees, and he's excited to go to Vrindavana. So the festival is from Nilachal to Sundarachal. So Nilachal, the Lord was in Dwarka and he is now going towards Vrindavan. So when the Lord is brought to Vrindavan, that is his most favorite place. The Lord Krishna never, the Vasudev Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. So similarly, when the Lord goes from Nilachal to Sundarachal, when he's coming out to board the Rath, before that he's so excited. He is like a maddened elephant. So that time, the Pandas also don't know what they are doing. They say, Kaliya humko nacha raha hai. So they call Jagannath as Kaliya in Puri. And then Kaliya shakes very violently from left to right. So that is a darshan one should have during Rath Yatra, which happens in July in Puri. So the Lord is maddened and he's dancing. His whole kirit, the mukut with they put the crown, it is like double, is like as good as the size of the Lord itself. It's a huge mukut they put, and ecstatic drums are being played, the clanging of cymbals, and it's an amazing thing, Mataji. So the Lord is very excited. Like a maddened elephant, he is coming excited to go to Vrindavan, and he dancing. So you can check that on the videos of last year's Rath Yatra in Puri, and how Lord comes out. So that is a Pahundi festival. So where Lord is coming in a very ecstatic form, in a dancing form, and the Pandas are carrying him towards the Rath. So that is the Pahundi festival.
Thank you, Mataji. And Sundarachal is Vrindavan, Mataji?
Yeah, Sundarachal is that Gundicha Mandir. In Puri, it is the Gundicha Mandir, which is Vrindavan.
Thank you, Mataji. I had always questioned why
Jagannath Puri is Gupta Vrindavan,
Jayant.
Mataji. So as you read more, you will get to know Jagannath Puri Mahaprabhu declared. So when you read more or when you come to know more, is Gupta Vrindavan.
Oh, okay, thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We'll end here. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Koti
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you Mataji. Dandavat Pranam.